Well, hey, it's Sarah Jane, and today I'm going to talk about what triggers are and what does that have to do with control programs or lies and lines and manipulation and deceit, and that this is a really huge opportunity right now to allow yourself to see the triggers as an opportunity to move into a higher state of consciousness and really just stay true to yourself. Because when you find yourself being triggered, as the light is certainly shining onto a lot of shadows right now, as all the fear and control programs are being exposed, the question is, how can we, stay in compassion and integrity and to own ourselves, to not fall into the victim consciousness of fear and scarcity programs? So I've certainly been feeling the massive pushback of control and deceit and greed and manipulation this week in my life. And I have fallen into doubt about some of the choices that I've been making. I have a wonderful guest, Tracy Benevento, joining me in a moment to bring her magic and insight and intuitive gifts to this topic and to any questions that you may have. So stay tuned for some heart medicine and write your questions that you'd like some support on with Tracy or me in the comment section below. So first, what are triggers? Like the name suggests, a gun does what it's supposed to do. When you pull the trigger, it fires around from the chamber to hit a specific target. So if you think of your body as a gun, it has the potential to get your attention when a trigger activates your nervous system to respond to something that's unresolved. In other words, your triggers are the result of an ongoing hostile relationship with the world, one created when your nervous system becomes dysregulated and stays that way after a traumatic event or an event that's so overwhelming that you can't process it at the time, and the way that you experience the world changes. Most everything becomes a threat. Everything is dangerous unless you live in a vacuum. It's really impossible to eliminate everything that upsets you or triggers you from your life or demand that of others. And we get traumatized in relationship, and the only way to heal is through relationship. You really cannot do it alone, and we need the triggers along with oopsie. Oh, that was my sister calling me. Sorry about that. So we need to have a really healthy capacity of resilience on our nervous system to learn what is underneath at the root cause, so that we can grow ourselves up and repair the ruptures. And when you do that, then you won't be triggered by that trauma wound anymore. We live in a world of 8 billion other people that don't revolve around you or me or others, and each of us has our own experience and our own trauma, and we're all doing the best that we can. However, most people are unconscious. They're not even aware that they have a style of attachment or a survival response, and they'll often lash out like a caged animal to protect themselves. And I believe that the fast track to healing your triggers is to just spend time with your family who know your triggers better than anyone, and the patterns that you adapted as a child to not be rejected or vilified. Just think of the archetypical roles you played as a scapegoat or a golden child or an orphan child or the black sheep or the rebel of the family. And so when you can bring compassion to the fact that hurt people continue hurting others, animals, and the planet until they know how to do this deep work, to really get to the root cause of why, underneath the assigns and all the social controls and manipulations and conditions of what you have to be and how you need to show up and how to do your life according to those systems and those cultures. Underneath all the labels too, of If you think about diagnoses of ADHD or OCD or bipolar, for example, we're all wanting the same thing, and that is to be seen and to know we matter and to be loved exactly as we are in all our humanity, with all our flawsomeness. And other people have needs, and those needs are not conditional on whether they trigger you or me or not. So the first thing you can do is to stop walking like shells, especially when a narcissist, or anyone for that matter, explodes in a fit of rage and blames you for their unresolved trauma. I know firsthand that it can be difficult when you haven't discovered the right strategies for yourself, and we can't see it when we're in it. And my ex-husband, my ex-narcissist, he couldn't have a conversation without exploding and making it personal. He would always say, "Oh, you made me do that." And I was criticizing him, and he would take something that had absolutely nothing to do with him and ask, show me an example, show me an example. And he would totally miss the point of what I was asking him to help me problem solve or find remedy for. And I learned very fast that I would never get to resolution or a place of alignment where things could be discussed in a calm manner, especially when it came to our daughter's well-being, because it was all about him. As narcissists do, it's all about them. And our culture has become far too entitled when it comes to blame, from politicians pointing fingers to the road ragers who blame the red light to, the non-mask wearer in a store that's pushing you into an aisle. And there's a lack of respect in it. And then, of course, there is the cultural narcissism online, where bashing others has become a free-for-all of blame and shame, with very little or no accountability for the damage done to another, because they're hiding behind their screens. So my wish is that we just come back to our hearts to live in right relationship with another, without being afraid of being made wrong when we compliment someone on their weight loss journey, or say good morning like loving human beings, and stop separating or withdrawing connection for fear of upsetting a person by a compliment, because you don't know, if they've got an eating disorder, and that might be triggering, or saying good morning to a stranger because you don't know, that maybe it's not a good morning for them and they have depression. And I have a powerful program called Going with the Flow through the Medicine Wheel, which has helped hundreds of people to turn pain into purpose through shadow work. And each module is moves us through the compass direction, so that you can start to see your triggers and turn your blind spots into trust and truth telling. And it's a great way to get on track. And there are meditations and energy healings and activations and boundary workshops and all that good stuff. So I'll post the link below for you to see if that's something that you are being called to heal and set yourself free from your unresolved traumas, so that you can stop being triggered. And just remember that what you conceal or avoid never heals. It just exacerbates suffering, and it's not necessary when you do the work. I think that self-advocacy becomes very toxic when it's rooted in blame instead of a desire to inform and educate us. And shame and criticism don't educate. They create separation. And who wants to be around someone who projects their hurt on you? So can we just each work on our own shadows and our triggers with appreciation for an opportunity to really heal unresolved trauma and stop projecting more hurt into a hurting world? Just for today, can we just see what triggers are coming up for you, and reach out to someone and say sorry if you blame them for something that had absolutely nothing to do with them. Take responsibility for your actions if you hurt someone, and say good day to a stranger. Give someone a compliment about how they look, and above all, let yourself be heart led. That's the way, I believe, to connection and safety and belonging. So I'd really like to introduce you to a very special light giver. She's an intuitive healer and a friend of mine, Tracy Benevento, and she's been incredible support for me with her insight on what's happening right now and the opportunities that we have to do the shadow work and stay sovereign, while these control programs and lies and deceit seem to be so super intense right now. And if you have any questions for me or Tracy, please type them in the comments below so that we can just clear and transmute and name what it is together. So without further ado, let me invite Tracy online. Not quite sure how I do this. Hello, Tracy, are you there? I'm using a new system, and all I have to do is invite her, and she needs to click the link. So I'm not sure if Tracy's here right now, but post your comments and questions so far, and I'd be happy to answer them. Hopefully Tracy will be here any minute. I'm in the UK right now, and she's in San Diego in California. So hopefully she'll come in. Oh, Tracy. Trace, you just need to click on the link and it should let you in. I posted it again in our private chat on the bottom side of the screen. Let's see if that works now. So any comments, questions? It's not supported. So we're having a bit of a technical glitch with Tracy right now. So I apologize for that. Hopefully we can get it resolved. And we can get her in here. Give me one small second. I'm not quite sure. Let me just do something quickly. Sorry, guys. Trace, I just posted the link. It's the same one that I sent you earlier. So it's telling me that all you have to do is click on it and I'll be able to bring you in. Mercury retrograde, we can always blame it on Mercury and the powers that be that don't want us to get this information out to you around control and manipulation and staying in your own truth. It's pretty intense. All right, guys. Well, I'm really sorry about that. I'm going to end this and on to Facebook, and we'll see if we can bring Tracy on there and have a conversation over there.